Hey everybody, thanks for coming today. We're going to give it about another minute and then we're going to get started. We've got a lot of content to cover, so I want to be respectful of everyone's time and leave some time at the end for Q&A. So just give it another minute. All right. I think it's about 30 seconds past the hour. We've got a lot of content to go through, so I say let's kick it off. And for those that are late, they can look at the recording. All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is our fifth of six webinars on data protection. Today's topic is around the Microsoft Purview and Fabric and how to use those across your data estate. We're going to jump into some quick intros. Spoiler alert, there's only six of us. And then we're going to talk through some of the regulatory landscapes and the importance of staying compliant, common challenges, understanding how Purview can help us be compliant and stay compliant, and then how we can use Purview and Fabric to achieve the compliance. And then if we have time, we'll wrap up with a little bit of Q&A. If you do have questions, drop them in the Q&A button up top. We've disabled chat, so if you drop it in Q&A, we'll get to it. So quick intros. We've got a slew of folks that are here that are experts in the field, led by Nana, who is a senior technical architect here at NetWoven, myself, who's a technical director, Raj, an engagement manager, and Manish, who's a senior engagement manager. We're also very fortunate to have Divya and Chanandra from Microsoft on the call. And so the six of us will be walking you through the presentation and answering questions at the end. All right, just real quick before we get started, just talk who NetWoven is. We are a preferred Microsoft solution partner. We have achieved all of those accolades from Microsoft, including the very elusive MISA, the Microsoft Intelligent Security Association. So just that's who we are. We're a trusted partner, and feel free to reach out to us, info@netwoven.com, if you have any questions. Real quick, also with NetWoven, we have six practices that align closely with Microsoft's kind of cloud strategy: content collaboration, security, cloud infrastructure, modern apps, data analytics, and accelerated computing and AI. Data governance kind of aligns close with security, content collaboration, and the accelerated computing and AI. And with that, let me hand it over to Raj.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. I appreciate it. Sorry. So hello all, welcome to our data governance webinar, right? So first of all, why do we really need data transformations programs and why they need to be governed, right? So as we can see, about 50% of the organizations which have some sort of data transformations programs or adopted data-driven methodologies to make their decisions, they have experienced increase in their revenues, right? And 44% of the organizations also been able to realize faster GTM, go to market time, compared to organizations which have not adapted any data-driven organization methodologies, right? And 62% of the organizations have experienced about in their customer level satisfaction. They have improved their SLAs. They've been able to connect better with their customers. And 54% of those organizations have been able to realize increase in their profit. So this is not a small number. These are, as you can see, this data set really speaks volume that companies or organizations which are data driven and have data transformations program are much more competitive in the market, right? So it's kind of hard to imagine that data is obviously everywhere, right? And it's growing. So it's hard to imagine that any critical business decisions can be made without good business intelligence. And how can we enable good business intelligence? Business intelligence needs to be enabled by timely availability of good data. And we need to govern it, right? To make sure it is really good data. That's what we are here about, right? And 90% of these organizations uh, currently, or they have near future, they are really going to embark on hybrid or multi-cloud journey. So things are really getting more complex, right? And rise of AI is really adds to that complexity. And 47% of CIOs are planning to address some of these challenges by utilizing AI. And so how do we enable AI? AI also needs good data. And again, coming back, good data does not happen overnight. It's a journey, and it really needs to be governed to make sure that there is good data processes are in place. So as data keeps on growing, managing it, securing it, and governing data is becoming more and more complex, and it really requires us to take multi-pronged approach. As I mentioned, AI adoption has its own challenges. And then on top of that, there are regulatory and compliance requirements, which are making data governance more and more complex. So in order to meet these challenges, right, we have to have two approaches. One is really we need to make sure that security requirements are increasingly becoming more challenging, and in order to handle that, we have to have responsible offense and responsible essential defense, right? So these two um, I guess covenants are really important to handle. So responsible offense is going to enable acceleration in value creation, while essential defense enables us to have our data secure and stay within regulations, right? So we have these challenges where, like do like when in order to address these, like, do we really have complete data? Do I really have good trustworthy data to make business decisions? And folks who really need access at ground level to make those business decisions, are they really enabled with the necessary access, right? And then if business have to make decision, can that be, how can they make it in faster cycle times, right? So these are the some of the challenges. And to address all these challenges, we have Chandana Basani and Nana, who are going to help us to address to answer some of these concerns. With that, I'm going to pass the baton to Chandana. She's going to address some of these concerns. Thank you.
Change the slide.
Yeah.
Shanandra, I think you're on mute.
Oh yes, sorry. Still
Yeah.
didn't get
Raj,
used to it.
Raj, another slide. You
Yeah.
missed one
The
slide.
previous one.
Oh, I'm sorry. This one, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I need some help changing the slides. Hope it's
No,
okay.
no
Yeah.
problem.
I don't
Yeah,
have
yeah, that's fine.
access.
No problem.
Yep. So, hey everyone, my name is Chandana Basani. I'm a data and AI cloud solution architect at Microsoft. Today, I'll give you a brief overview of Microsoft Purview, its role in the current AI era, and some of its main features at a high level. I mean, we will be scraping the surface, but there's a lot that Microsoft Purview has to offer from where it has started a few years ago to where it is now. So let's jump right into it. What is Microsoft Purview exactly? So it's a unified platform for data governance, security, and compliance across your entire data landscape. It helps you manage and protect your data no matter where it resides. So Microsoft Purview integrates your previous Azure Purview and Microsoft 365 compliance solutions into a single platform, which helps you provide, get visibility to your data, safeguard and manage your sensitive data, risks it poses, and any regulatory requirements in a very comprehensive way by bringing these multiple portals together, now being offered as a software as a service solution. Azure Purview was a platform as a service solution where the compliance portal was different, the M365 compliance portal, and governance portal was part of Purview. Now it's all integrated as Microsoft Purview. So it has I mean, the previous one itself, Raj, sorry. Yeah. So it has three main pillars: data security solutions. It's for protecting sensitive data, preventing any data loss, and manage insider risk. And data governance solutions for discovering, managing data services, and also monitor the overall health of your data estate. Data quality, etc., also comes into this. Then the next pillar, risk and compliance solutions for meeting regulatory requirements and data lifecycle management. Some things like data deletion policies, data retention policies, all will be part of risk and compliance. Next slide, please. Here, through this diagram, our intention is mainly to emphasize how Purview brings together the solutions across governance, security, and compliance that you can use to govern and secure your data wherever it lives, irrespective of whether it is on-prem, Azure cloud, or multi-cloud. It can be in your Fabric, OneLake, Databricks, other cloud providers like Amazon File Services, like Amazon S3, our Microsoft 365, anywhere. This is what we would like to emphasize in this picture, but you can also see the data map here, which includes the data classification and end-to-end with sensitive data pointers, labeling, and where the data is stored, who can access it, etc. Next slide, please. This is just a snapshot of what it looks like in the new Microsoft Purview portal. By the way, you can also access and explore by going to purview.microsoft.com and sign in with your existing account. I will not go through each one of these, but on a high level, if you look at the solutions here, they are bucketed into core, risk and compliance, data governance, privacy, security, and so on. The core capabilities of Purview are auditing user and admin activities across all the services, which is more like searching the audit log for certain activities, red flags, an action taken on data, some deletion, an access is granted. I mean, it can be anything based on how and what you want it to raise a flag about. And data mapping, it's one of the key solutions, or the piece in Purview, I should say, because that's where all your metadata, the scanning of your data source happens. Any data artifact for you to understand and have a dictionary for, it resides in data map, including the classification and lineage details. Setting and workflows is where, yeah, thank you. Settings and workflows is where you can configure solution settings, repeatable business processes. For example, you can automate the operations to be alerted, or what action needs to be taken if certain action on the data has been performed. There's a lot. I mean, please feel free to go ahead and explore in the new Microsoft Purview portal. You can also just use the toggle switch at the top in your existing Purview portal to experience this new UX and the solutions. We have grouped things differently, a little differently now in the newly announced Microsoft Purview. But we will mainly go through in our talk, we'll just go a little bit more in detail into the data governance pillar, where there's data catalog, data estate health, and also data quality. Next slide, please. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. Oh yeah, now let's just focus and talk a little bit more about data governance and its roles in the current age of AI. Raj already brought up a few key points, but we'll just talk a little more about it. Next slide, please. So the first and foremost question, why is data governance crucial for the age of AI? Not just AI, but also any application, right? I'm sure we all understand how important it is to have data in good shape for it to be applied for any AI use cases, because we know that your AI or any application or any data analysis is as good as your data. So given that, it is important to be able to easily identify the existing data, any shortcomings in the quality, and any risk that it may pose. So Microsoft Purview is designed to be that unified platform that evolved from our first version. I think it started maybe 5 or 6 years ago as Azure Data Catalog, which was mainly focusing on the Azure cloud services. Then Azure Purview, which was offered as a platform as a service for multi-cloud and on-prem kind of resources. Now, Microsoft Purview, it brings together all of these as an integrated, unified solution. So we believe, and Microsoft Purview follows a federated data governance approach, which actually spreads the ownership across the business, reducing the bottlenecks. I know, like not just IT or the data officers team who are interested and responsible in the data governance anymore. It's more of everybody, even the non-technical functions and business users have a role in here. So it's like a good data governance utilizes the whole team and role to keep up to date with their data governance. So, and another point I would like to mention is the Microsoft Purview. There's a lot of emphasis on the business context itself. Now, it has always been there, but now they made it very easy for the business people to add more context to it, have more options that the business context can be added to through business domains, OKRs, glossary terms, and also the way they can search for data in natural language. That's also there. And that's what we mean by scaled with AI and NL. Oh, it's NL, natural language search, not NLP. My bad. So we will see that, briefly in the next slides. Next slides, please. Now zoning into the data governance pillar of Microsoft Purview, a little more focus on the new data catalog features like data estate health and data quality. Let's see about that. Next slide, please. So Purview's data map solution. So what happens? It's important to understand what's a data map and data catalog. If you are new to Purview and want to know what happens from in the step 1, right? After a data source is registered into the Microsoft Purview account, the next step is to scan the data source. The scanning process, it establishes a connection to the data source, captures the technical metadata like names, file size, columns, and so on. It also extracts schema for structured data sources. It applies classification, and again, you can create your own classification rules and labels, which can be automatic or manual. Again, it depends on what your organization standards are. The scanning process also can be triggered to run immediately, like on demand, or it can be scheduled to run on a periodic basis to keep your Purview account up to date with your data sources. So that's the whole point of having an up-to-date data governance structure for your organization in place, right? So, and then the technical metadata or classification identified by the scanning process, it's then sent to the ingestion. So what ingestion does is it analyzes the input from the scan, it applies any patterns, populates if there's any lineage information that's available. The scanned data source, if it's related to any other data source that are existing, it'll identify that lineage information and automatically populate the data map. So why I explain all this is data map is where all your metadata, the classification, lineage, sensitivity labels, all of this exists. And it applies, this is like the core of a data governance in Purview data map. Let's go to the next slide, please. And coming to data catalog, the goal of the data catalog is not only just to provide a platform for data governance, but also to drive business value creation. This is a place where users can come and search for the data assets, like what data is there, but now it is grouped in such a way that if you see on the screen, I hope it's visible, the business domains, data products, and data estate health. It's not just for searching, but also to add business context to it. So you can create business specific information and tie it to the data, such as creating business domains, for example, finance and sales org related data, they can be grouped, create glossary terms, which provides critical business context to your data assets. And data products here, in the second point, data products here means simply put, a group of data assets, which means now one doesn't have to request access to 15 different data assets, but instead they can be grouped into a data product. For example, everything related to a project, or maybe everything related to a customer. If you're dealing with multiple customers, they just need to get access to one data product, which has multiple data assets. So you can think of the hierarchy as an organization can have multiple business domains, and each business domain will have multiple data products, and each data product will have group of data assets. So data assets, this is familiar from the previous versions of Purview, right? It can be any table, Power BI data sets. All of this can be searched here in data catalog, along with business content like OKRs, glossary terms, whatever the business or the relevant personnel comes and ties that information to the data and the metadata. Next slide, please. This again is under data catalog solution itself. As I told, we have grouped a few things and still moving. It's in preview and we're still moving a few things around. This has features for you to implement to enhance your data governance strategy and management. It has something very new called health controls and health actions. So health controls measures your current data governance practice against the standards that gives you and your data estate a quantifiable score where you are. For example, the 100% of your data assets need to be labeled. Sensitivity label should be in place if it's not there. So based on an algorithm, it provides a quantifiable score for making it easy to improve. I mean, all of us agree that you can only improve if you measure, right? So that's the basic of it. And then health actions it's more like an advisor. It is a single list of recommended actions for you to take that will improve data quality and discoverability across your data estate. It will give all those list of actions, or these are the assets that doesn't have a sensitivity label. The classification is not done on certain data products or assets, and it is given at different levels, at business domain level, product level, and data assets level. And of course, visual summaries of your entire data estate is easy to consume as visuals. The summaries are also available as reports. Next slide, please. And this is a crucial component in all business environments, right? As bad quality of data can negatively impact your business operations, and of course, which in turn affects your decision-making process. So Microsoft Purview addresses data quality by providing users with no-code, low-code system to evaluate data quality. This includes both out-of-the-box rules and also AI-generated rules. That's why we call it's scaled by AI. It uses AI to generate rules, how to keep up the high standards of data quality, but also use Copilot kind of AI to make it easy for the users to search for the data. And again, data quality is part of data catalog solutions. There is subgroups, as I said, data catalog, and under that there's data management section. Under that is data quality. This enables you to set rules, as I said, AI generated or out of the box, or you can create your own rules at business domain levels or product levels or asset levels. The scores are generated for the quality, which again helps you narrow down on what to focus on, what assets have some issues, or where can you improve. Next slide, please. This is just to show, I just wanted to show from this snapshot how easy it is to now search in natural language. For example, a business user or even a data engineer or a security admin, they want to know something about, for example, here I'm searching for anything about revenue data in the previous years. I don't have to know the actual name of the data table or how the data asset is stored somewhere. I'll just go and type in natural language what I'm looking for, and then it gives a next slide, please. And then it gives all the relevant data assets based on the question. And there's also Copilot integrated in it where you can narrow down, add more context to it, just like how we are doing ChatGPT and all the Copilot that we are using in Teams and emails and Word, right? Like we give more context, better the prompt is, better the results are. So Copilot is integrated as well. Quick time check. And with that, I would like to pass over to Jnana to talk about how well Fabric and Purview are integrated and how they go hand in hand. Over to you, Jnana. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandana. So good morning, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Some people from India joined this for conference webinar. Fabric and Purview, responsible analytics in the era of AI, and in everything, depending upon AI, and we are bringing AI. It's a business use case, which we brought, revolutionized, total, industry. So when we talk about Purview, Chandana already talk to you how we collaborated, or integrated number of products, from Office 365 to Purview. From there, we integrated to a unique and one lake environment in Fabric. What exactly it gives to you. Okay, when I do this, what we want to do, those people who are new to Fabric, just we want to give a glimpse of Fabric, so that they will be in a better position to understand when I go deep into the little bit some of my topic. Introducing Microsoft Fabric is a SaaS product. Install it in one tenant. There is no need for it to install, or configure anything. You install one tenant, and it installs, with all this, integrated, environment, data factory, Synapse engineering, Synapse warehouse, Synapse data science, Synapse real-time analytics, Power BI, data activator. Along with that, it also comes, attachment of a Purview. So what does it make? It's a single sign-on. Navigating UX model, very easy, just like that, Microsoft 365, data lake storage format, copy of all engines in a data hub, and governance and compliance experience in one place. Absolutely, which is, literally, customers are looking for that domain and workspace organization, and especially, it gives, a data mesh approach enabled automatically in Fabric, and security model and CI/CD and monitoring hub, what exactly happening to this. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, once we know a little bit of Fabric, then let's look into that. What Fabric, Microsoft Fabric and Microsoft Purview will give you an advantage. What exactly customers are looking for that Microsoft is fulfilling, and Fabric. Microsoft Fabric reshapes your access, manage, and act data insights by connecting every data. It's a unified data lake in one place together. So it controls all the analytics in one place. Your one truth of data for all your demands. But whereas on this data, Microsoft Purview put a data safe and governed within a unified data governance, information protection, and risk and compliance solutions. What does it mean? Data ownership, unmatched security and compliance, and unified governance in one place for a customer, which is it was a very difficult thing before. Now it is becoming true. Next slide, please. Okay. Once we discuss about what is these two roles, how they integrate, how we benefit. Purview data security and compliance integration with Fabric. What does it mean? Information protection it gives in the data fabric. Data loss prevention. Information protection means classifying, censoring Fabric data, sensitive labels, and that are used. Microsoft 365. One important point, the sensitive labels in Microsoft 365 also it brings to here, so enforces when the data is exported. That's another added advantage. We need not worry what was there in Microsoft 365, what is here we are going to do. It brings it up. On that we can do extra classification. And data loss and prevention. If somebody using in a PAI, its leakage is there, trigger automatic remediation and alerts to the semantic model. Then audit. Hey, what log users are log users and activities. Let's in a practical scenario. If I have a PA data, loyalty data. So who are the people looking into this loyalty data? What are the people, that data owner should know? They audit, if something is there, it automatically, security, forensic and internal investigations will be there, so that it's the added advantage in having a audit, Purview hub. And all this Purview will come into a hub in Fabric, so that whatever domains you have, whatever the data you have, you can look into this one scale in Purview Hub. Next slide, please. Okay, when we talk about Fabric and Purview, what is auto attached? When we install a Fabric, it automatically attaches to you. It attaches to a Purview Hub. You will get into that. Then there is a data map and data catalog, a limited version where freely you can do that. You try it out. If you like it, you will go for a full version with Purview. Then you will get all the features which Chandana discussed. I'm discussing. Next slide, please. Now look into this. Once we have seen the basic aspect, what is Fabric, what is Purview, how they integrated, what is the benefits, governance and security features in Microsoft. Let's look into that, what exactly it means to us. Next slide, please. Okay, visibility with industry leading features. What does it mean? Let's take, Fabric, what exactly it gives to me. Governance and security features built into Fabric. Admin portal and monitoring, number one, capacity matrix, domain and workspaces, universal security model, one lake data hub, endorsements, external data sharing, data lineage, metadata scanning, and Purview hub. Purview experiences in Fabric is Purview information protection, Purview data loss, and Purview audit. So this one at place, security and governance in one at place. And apart from that, Purview supports comprehensive data security, risk compliance, and federated data governance. That gives an added advantage, so that it's a full visibility and control with industry leading features. Next slide, please. Okay. What do you mean by central govern and protect tenant wide while empowering business groupers to manage their own? What does it mean to us? So admin portal for monitoring, one place you can admin, how many domains you have, how capacity is there, how the settings are there, entire Fabric tenant, you can give it. And capacity matrix, it gives you visibility, utilization of user trends, aggregations, Then universal security model we put coming soon means it is fully not baked. And if you are one or two things is pending, that's where we want to give a clear and we are honest to the customer, so that we put it's coming up. Maybe 1 or 2 months it will be totally relevant, with universal security model. And domains and workspaces, all your items, whatever warehouses, whatever reports, whatever lake houses, everything we call it as a items. All these items grouped into a workspace, and all these workspaces to be grouped into a domain or a subdomain to create a federated governed data mesh. This is the one I'm telling. And to make this happen in some of the other applications, we have to do a lot of configuration, lot of work we have to do. This automatically, when you have Fabric, it is automatically enabled with you. Okay, next slide, please. Admin portal and monitoring. And Matrix uses audit logs domains. This is the portal. It looks, everything is there. Unified admin portal, centrally managed. And then apply tenant domain capacity settings for the entire Fabric tenant. Uncover insights for every governance. Okay. And apart from that, it has a workspace pre-built with pre-built reports, and you can see in the report what is happening. Then capacity matrix is a app we can install that gives you what is the utilization, what daily aggregations, everything it does. And apart from that, it explores data with full fidelity use of SaaS capacity platform. That's another advantage you have with capacity matrix. Everything. Okay, next slide, please. Universal security model. If you look into that, I have data warehouse, I have a data factory, data integrations, data science, real time and Power BI. I have a compute. Then I have my workspace A, workspace B. Workspace A contains finance, customer 360. Workspace B contains service telemetry and business KPIs. So that universal security model, basing on this, you can control your total shared universal security model. Another location. More granular security can be defined. This includes column level security, row level security, and data masking. And security difference will flow across all shortcuts, will be enforced in everywhere in the all tiers in the Fabric. Next slide, please. Domains. So this is another concept and the greatest concept no other people have. We got it. You can create a domain, HR domain. You can create a marketing domain. You can create a finance domain. Everything under that you can create subdomains, and workspaces can be created, and relevant faster. You want one domain, you can filter only that domain. If a subdomain, you can filter that subdomain. Assigning domain roles and admissions, delegate some governance control to the domain level, enabling each business unit to define its own rules and restrictions according to specific business needs. This is the one thing a business is asking for a long time, which it will be achieved in Fabric. Next slide, please. Workspaces, domains contain workspaces. We can create different workspaces so that all the reports and lake houses, warehouses, different warehouses can have different workhouses, and create and then associate workspaces with the domain in the domain portal for VS setting, or adopt domain governance policies, exactly what they wanted. So if you want to have extra policies in workspace, you can do that. But another greatest advantage we brought here is you can create your custom Spark pool for the workspace, if granted given by the capacity admin, because ordinary work pool, it works very fast in Fabric. Before it used to bring up 2 minutes to bring up a Spark pool, but it take 2 seconds, is internally integrated in the Fabric. But sometimes we need a customized work pools, Spark work pools, to do a GPU based ML and MI, so that you can create your own workspace, which is another advantage which was lagging before. Next slide, please. Give your data professional the tools they need to maintain a single source of truth of your data. OneLake Data Hub. You have a OneLake Data Hub. All your data, your domains, everything will be here. Okay. Then endorsements, and we do endorsements, but the data quality, once it is endorsed by departments, certified, so that we are truthful. When you do a classification or a search, it will look into this endorsement first, and it will give you this endorsement data first. Then data lineage and impact analysis for end to end, whether is data coming or transformation is taking, where it is going to Power BI or BI tool, everything will be lineage and impact analysis can be given. And the greatest asset is metadata scanning. With this metadata scanning, extract information such as item names, owner domains, and across the fabric. Next slide, please. What is Data Lake Hub? Data lake contains number of domains, number of data, number of workspaces, and number of data one lakes, number of data warehouses. It can be any number. Our unified one lake can get any delta lakes, any number of warehouses, and any number of semantic layers, that is data sets. Before we used to call data set, now it's semantic layer for Power BI as anything, and then everything will club in the data hub. When you want to go look for your things, the data hub will give you filter and sort capabilities, include specific domains, workspaces, and artifacts, and more. And a deeper dive into data with metadata readily available, including descriptions, endorsements, and sensitive labels, and more. Next slide, please. What is endorsement? I created a data. When we create a data, a domain, the workspaces, what I look into that, then I'll go to my department head, hey guys, stewards, department, data stewards, or business, analyst, look into the data. Everything looks good. Everything is, perfect, and once everything says, then approval comes for the data owner. Then we go certify this data. Once we certify this data, means, this data quality is good. So that's where we can trust this data. So that's where this endorsement will help you a lot. Endorsement item get higher visibility in Fabric data discovery experience. Next slide, please. Data lineage and impact analysis, as I discussed, end-to-end, perform impact analysis to assess impact for upcoming changes, and what exactly, where any failures are there, what are the problems, what is the destination problems, what is the minor refresh status which we have, or how our data pipelines, data warehouses, pipelines, data sets, and reports are functioning, who are the people, where data is going, what is the lineage, where it is going. Absolutely, in end-to-end analysis, we can do that. Next slide, please. Metadata scanning via API. So this is a wonderful thing, we brought it. Fabric can APIs and enables, effective scanning for Fabric tenant metadata and lineage, including item names, endorsement, data source, robust enterprise capabilities with the service principal and authentication, which was a very difficult thing before. That now with Microsoft Entra with the service principal, it's very easy, and you can do a incremental scan. That's another added advantage. There is no need for it to scan every time total data. Whatever incremental comes, it scans the incremental only, and it supports also first and third party catalog tools. Next, please. So use preview security and compliance features to protect your data in one lake, that is information protection labels. It is added here, integrated, and data loss prevention policies added here, and audit is added here. Okay, next slide, please. Yeah, secure, protect, and data across your organization. Purview Hub is there. Then data map limited version and data catalog limited version, which we already discussed what default attachment with the fabrics. Next slide, please. Okay, Purview Hub in the data fabric. So this is the way it looks in the Purview Hub. Once you have an admin capacity, you can look into the Purview Hub. How many data domains are there, how many workspaces are there, what workspace is certified, what is not certified, and what are the metadata and all. Basing on that, you can have a total one visibility, get data catalog and information protection, data loss prevention and audit in one place. Contains a report that provides insight to the item inventory, sensitive data, and others, as a report, pre-built report. That's another added advantage. Okay, next slide, please. So with this, advantages, Word Fabrics and Purview, Microsoft Fabric and Purview can integrate with Athlon and Elation, Informatica, Colibra, and in-house governance. And now it can be it can also integrate with Unity catalog with Databricks. It's coming, and Fabric can look into that Unity catalog right now. Okay. So thanks. With this, I'll hand over to Matt for remaining session and Q&A answers. Any Q&A questions we'll answer in this session. I hand over to Matt.
Great job, team. I think this is great stuff. Just brushing the surface of what Purview can do for you in your data landscape. Just real quick, NetWoven does offer a free primer workshop around data security and governance. If you're interested, just email info@netwoven.com. We'll get you hooked up. We also do deeper dive workshops. So we have an advanced data security and governance workshop. And then we also have a Purview readiness assessment. So feel free to email us if any of those are interesting, and one of our sales folks will get right on it. All right, so a few questions kind of came through. Yes, sorry. Like I mentioned before, this is the 5th of 6 of our webinars on using data, using Microsoft Purview. The links are all in this PowerPoint that will get sent out after. Stay tuned for next month's session on collaborating securely with Govern 365 and Microsoft Purview. And now we'll go to the questions. So I think the first question I had, Nana, how does an organization foster a culture of continuous improvement in data security and governance?
Yeah, this is a very good question. If you look into that, the evaluation, the integration of data governance, data governance and policies is a part, and data observability is another part. Both should be mixed. If you look into our presentation with all these things, monitoring effect and data governance versus policies versus data observability, which is a critical part of to make data governance is perfect. And apart from that, there are so many silos are there. Bring into the silos into one place and give a uniform, data strategy for, total enterprise. That is, main thing, which Microsoft is bringing into a total picture. That's where, once, you take care of, all the silos into one, lake, one data. And apart from that, if you can see a federated approach with Purview and all of the data loss prevention in one place, not only in a Purview Fabric, you can go to other places. We can look into that without a copying data, so that that's another advantage. So they should develop a strategy. First of all, unification of their unique data into one place, and what is important for them for their analytics or MI and AL, or with AI. With co-pilots added advantage for the business, so that business are comfortable to look into these things, not going to every time, wasting times in the meeting, and having my department want this one, your department is bought than this one, but it's a centralized location now, so that people can look into that, own specifications, own governance rules, own policies, so that business is more enabled at this juncture. So that is the way a company a company looking for a digitalization, they should go into that unification of this data governance, and it's a journey. It is in the phases and it should go. So that is our advice.
It's definitely a journey. I'll echo that. All right, great. The next one, real quick, what are the advantages of Purview? What's the advantage of Purview data governance with security? Divya, do you have thoughts on that? Or maybe Raj?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear you
There
now.
we go.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Divya.
Hey, I think my audio is cutting. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you please repeat the question?
Oh yeah, sorry. So what's the advantage of Purview data governance with security? Like what?
So
Yeah.
So the biggest advantage of using Purview is the fact that it comes as a platform which where you can see all the lineage of how the data has gone within your organization. What Chandana showed in her presentation, you can see end to end across different Microsoft services. So it's a very easy to use platform, and using it will definitely help your organization be more successful.
Yeah, to add to
Great.
Divya, Matt, along with the governance, what Divya informed, adding security, this was two different aspects. There was a big gap, before we can get, Office 365 data. We don't know what is happening, what labels are there. And because we are clubbing into one environment today, people need not worry. So once, it Office 365, what policies I have, what labels I have, when we export the data into this, combined integrated environment, those labels will come through so that we need not worry. Then we can go against, whatever extra we can do. That's an added advantage, which was not there before. Now it's a unified platform.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, that's a good answer. It actually begs the question. I did have a poll for everybody, so maybe let me have the moderator launch the poll. We're curious about which of these Microsoft products are currently being used at your organization. Are you using Purview or are you using Fabric or are you using both? I think this is kind of telling in terms of how far along you are in that governance portion. It looks like a lot of people are using both, which is great. All right. Skipping through some of these questions, what are the special licenses needed for Purview to have full functionality inside of Fabric? I don't know, Divya, if you've got thoughts on that.
Divya? Some problem, she got audio problem.
Okay.
Nana, maybe you want to take
Yeah.
that up? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pick up. Okay. What happens, when you go to, this licensing, Fabric comes with, a limited licensing, which I have showed limited actions of free versions. If you want to use, Microsoft Fabric and, data DLP and all, so we have to specialize licensing is there, Let's take an example of in a data map. I can go for a data map, it contains, 25, map I can go, but, per hour, per, one, say CPU, it will count in 0.27 cents. So that basing on that, you will be calculated. So that we need to have the DLP and data map and but data catalog and all, it comes free under data map. So those are the licenses and extra license for audit, and we have to pay for that according to Microsoft. So for this, and what we are doing a blog so that we'll give a clarity, what exactly it means, how it counts, and it's a very big subject to tell. So that we will give a blog, we'll send it to you all the guys. So what exactly this, how it goes, what is that, total, you want to implement total in Purview in Fabric, what will be overall view, you will get into that, we'll give you.
Great. The next question I have, does Purview integrate with the Unity catalog? Manish,
Yeah.
do you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I can take that, man. Thank you. Yeah, so Purview, it's like a central data catalog, right, for your organization. And that's where you can discover, manage data across your various sources. And starting November 2023, Azure Databricks and its Unity catalog was included as part of the cataloging system.
Wonderful.
Cool. And then I had a question around what are some of the advantages of Purview for the enterprise?
Yeah, hey, Matt,
Raj?
I can take that. So for the enterprise version, basically, enterprise coverage and federal, it really covers both on-prem and cloud environments, and it can present. So one other advantage is really on Fabric. It can present the unified one lake data platform, right? And more importantly, it also offers Purview co-pilots. So anybody, this enterprise, basically Purview for Enterprise will enable you to utilize Copilot to do discovery, labeling, and all those things. So it's very advantageous. Yeah.
Great. And then I think let's one last question. How do we ensure compliance with relevant regulations such as DORA? Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think DORA is already included in Microsoft compliance, and recently they added maybe a few months back even regulatory things for health also it was included, so that most of the compliance is covered by Microsoft Purview.
And one more thing, because in production sometimes we are dealing with production data, so data masking is another key feature where you may want to bring data in non-production environment and you want to mask it. So this has from compliance perspective, it can help with those areas as well. So
great.
Any more questions from audience?
It looks like Divya posted some topics, or sorry, some pricing information in chat. So anybody interested in that, forget who asked the question, but go ahead and check that out. And I think that's it. I'll give everybody 5 minutes to go use a bio break before their next call. Thank you, everybody, and thank you to our presenters. Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.